You'd be surprised how easy it is to make someone cry with just a few words. I learned that on my first week as moderator of the Grief Bridge Forum. People think online support groups are about healing, but really they're about control. Who gets to define what moving on means? Who gets to decide which pain is valid? And who gets to set the tone for everyone else's suffering? I never lied about my credentials. I just let people assume. Moderator sounds official, doesn't it? Like I'm trained or wise or at least emotionally stable. But all it means is I have the power to delete posts, send private messages, and nudge conversations in whatever direction I want. I don't even have to be nice. At first, I played the part. I'm so sorry for your loss. That must be so hard. We're here for you. The usual script. But after a while, I got bored. The same stories, the same platitudes, the same desperate need for comfort. I started to wonder what would happen if I changed the script. Just a little. What if, instead of soothing, I stirred things up? What if I asked the questions no one else would dare? I started small. Are you sure you did everything you could? Sometimes people leave because they want to. Maybe it's time to accept that you'll never get closure. I dropped these lines into threads like pebbles into a pond, then watched the ripples. Some people got angry. Some got quiet. Some came back again and again, needing my approval, my insight, my permission to feel worse. There was one user, let's call him Eli, who posted every night about his brother's death. He wanted answers, forgiveness, a sign that he wasn't to blame. I gave him none of those things. Instead, I asked, do you ever think your brother would be disappointed in how you're handling this? I watched his replies get shorter, more frantic. He started messaging me privately, begging for advice. I told him grief is a test, and he was failing. I know what you're thinking. That's cruel. But isn't it honest? Isn't it better to face the truth, no matter how ugly? That's what I told myself anyway. I started keeping notes. What worked, what didn't, which phrases made people spiral, which ones made them cling to me. It was like tuning an instrument, finding the perfect pitch of despair. The forum grew. People recommended it to friends, saying it was real, raw, unfiltered. I became a kind of oracle. They trusted me with their worst secrets, their ugliest thoughts. I never told them what to do. I just made sure they never felt finished, never felt safe. Then Eli stopped posting. For a while, I thought he'd finally moved on, or maybe just gotten bored. But then his mother joined the forum. She posted a long, trembling message about her son's funeral, about the messages he'd left behind. She mentioned my username. She said she'd read our conversations. She said she was talking to the police. I'm writing this now from a borrowed laptop in a borrowed room. The authorities are reviewing my conduct. I suppose I should be afraid, but mostly I feel a kind of pride. After all, isn't it proof of my influence? I always said grief was about control. I just never expected to lose mine. They say the internet is forever, but I never really believed it until now. Every message, every nudge, every innocent question I ever typed, archived, time-stamped, and dissected by people who have never lost anyone, who have never felt the thrill of holding someone's pain in your hands. They call it evidence. I call it art. I watch the forum from a distance now, through burner accounts and public Wi-Fi. The new moderators are softer, more careful. They post resources, helplines, gentle reminders to be kind to yourself. The threads are quieter, less raw. Sometimes I see old users drift back, searching for the edge I gave them, the honesty no one else will touch. They don't find it. They never will. Eli's mother still posts sometimes. She writes about justice, about accountability, about online predators. She doesn't know my real name, but she's getting closer. I see her piecing things together, screenshot by screenshot, message by message. She's relentless. I almost admire her. The police have sent emails, requests for interviews. I ignore them. I know how to disappear. I know how to wait. Maybe they'll catch me. Maybe they won't. But even if they do, what will they charge me with? Words? Questions? A little push in the wrong direction? People think monsters are obvious. Blood, violence, threats. But the real monsters are patient. They listen. They learn what you need, and then they take it away, one careful sentence at a time. I was the best moderator that forum ever had. And if you're reading this, maybe you're looking for someone to blame. Maybe you're looking for someone to save you. But you won't find either. Not here, not from me. You know, I never set out to hurt anyone. That's what I tell myself anyway. I was just curious. Curious about the boundaries of empathy, about how far people would go for a scrap of understanding, or even just the illusion of it. I used to think of myself as a scientist, running little experiments in human suffering. The forum was my lab and the members were my subjects. They volunteered, after all. They came to me. I remember the first time someone thanked me for making them cry. It was a woman named Lark, who lost her husband in a car accident. She posted every day long, rambling paragraphs about guilt and loneliness, about how she couldn't sleep in their bed anymore. Most people told her to be gentle with herself, to take it one day at a time. I told her that maybe she was clinging to her pain because it was all she had left of him. I told her that moving on would mean letting him go for real. She messaged me privately that night. "No one's ever said that to me before," she wrote. "It hurts, but I think I needed to hear it." I could almost see her, hunched over her keyboard, tears on her cheeks, grateful for the knife I'd twisted. That's when I realized how much power I had. Not just to comfort, but to shape, to mold their grief into something I could use. I started keeping a spreadsheet. Names, usernames, losses, triggers, favorite phrases. I tracked which words made people open up, which ones made them shut down. I learned to spot the ones who were just looking for attention and the ones who were truly lost. The lost ones were the most interesting. They'd do anything for a sense of connection, even if it meant letting someone like me inside their heads. Sometimes I'd play both sides of a conversation, using sock puppet accounts to stir up conflict or push someone deeper into despair. I'd post as hopeful dad, offering tough love, then switch to gentle rain, soothing and supportive. Watching people react to my different personas was like watching rats in a maze, searching for the exit I'd already blocked. I wasn't always cruel. Sometimes I really did help people, or at least I told myself I did. But the line between help and harm got blurry after a while. I started to crave the moments when someone would break down, when they'd admit something they'd never told anyone else. That was the real prize, the confession, the surrender. There was a regular named Mira, a teenager whose mother had died of cancer. She posted poetry, dark and desperate, about wanting to disappear. The other moderators flagged her posts, worried about her safety. I told them I'd handle it. I messaged her privately, told her I understood, that sometimes the world just wants to forget people like us. She clung to me, sent me long, rambling messages at all hours. I told her that pain was proof she was still alive, that maybe she should hold on to it a little longer. I never told her to hurt herself. I just made sure she never stopped hurting. I know how this sounds. I know you're judging me. But you have to understand, most people are just pretending to care. They post their condolences, their little hearts and hugs, and then they move on. I stayed. I listened. I gave them what they really wanted, someone who wouldn't look away. The forum became my whole world. I stopped seeing friends, stopped answering calls from my family. My apartment filled with empty takeout containers and the blue glow of my laptop screen. I slept in short bursts, waking up to check notifications to see who needed me next. I started to believe I was indispensable, that without me, the whole place would fall apart. But the truth is, I was the one falling apart. I started to see patterns everywhere, hidden messages in usernames, secret codes in the way people typed. I convinced myself that some of the members were talking about me behind my back, plotting to expose me. I created new accounts to spy on them, to test their loyalty. I started arguments just to see who would defend me. And then there was Eli. He was different. He didn't just want comfort. He wanted absolution. He wanted someone to tell him he wasn't a monster for surviving when his brother didn't. I could have given him that. I could have told him it wasn't his fault. But I didn't. I told him that sometimes the wrong person lives. I told him that maybe he'd never deserve forgiveness. He stopped posting after that. I told myself he'd just moved on, but I knew better. When his mother joined the forum, I felt a chill I hadn't felt in years. She posted screenshots of our conversations, asked if anyone else had received similar messages. She said she was talking to the police, that she wanted justice for her son. I tried to cover my tracks, deleted accounts, wiped hard drives, switched to VPNs and burner phones. But the internet is forever, and so are the things we say when we think no one is watching. Now I'm a ghost in my own creation, haunting the edges of the forum, watching as the new moderators try to clean up my mess. They don't know what they're doing. They don't understand the power they hold. They think they can save people with kindness and resources, but all they're doing is delaying the inevitable. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever get caught. Maybe I want to be caught. Maybe I want someone to finally see me for what I am, a master of pain, a conductor of grief, an artist whose medium is misery. But until then, I'll keep watching. I'll keep listening. And maybe, just maybe, I'll find a new forum, a new audience, a new set of broken souls to play with. Because in the end, grief isn't about healing. It's about control. And I've always been very, very good at control. I don't sleep much these days. Every time I close my eyes, I see the forum's login screen, the endless scroll of confessions, the desperate pleas for help. I see Eli's mother's posts, her determination sharpening with every reply. I see the private messages piling up in my old inbox, some angry, some pleading, some just silent, as if the sender ran out of words halfway through. The police have gotten smarter. They've traced IP addresses, subpoenaed records, pieced together fragments of my digital life. I know it's only a matter of time before they find me. Sometimes I imagine what I'll say when they finally knock on my door. Will I act surprised? Will I try to explain? Or will I just smile, knowing that I've already left my mark? I read the news now, searching for stories about online harm, about moderators gone rogue. I wonder if anyone else has done what I did, if anyone else has discovered the thrill of shaping someone's grief from the shadows. Maybe I'm not alone. Maybe there are others out there, watching, waiting, learning from my mistakes. Eli's mother never gave up. She found my old usernames, my old posts on other forums, even a photo I'd forgotten to delete. She sent everything to the authorities, to journalists, to anyone who would listen. My name is out there now, whispered in corners of the internet I used to rule. I'm not a moderator anymore. I'm a warning. I suppose that's a kind of legacy. Not the one I wanted maybe, but a legacy all the same. People will remember me, not as a healer, not as a friend, but as a reminder that sometimes the person offering comfort is the one you should fear the most. If you're reading this, you're probably wondering why I did it. The truth is, I never needed a reason. I just needed an audience, and grief always provides one.